Most of you already know about the Amazon countdown, but there seems to be a tendency to blame the fans for their expectations. This entire situation should rightfully be attributed to Bethesda, not the fans. So let's fix that really quick. Quick context. On the Amazon page for the Fallout TV show, there's a place where you can click on different sets the show used and kind of tour the show. For the season finale, there was a countdown on a locked icon that ended up being a set for the Lucky 38. The more schizophrenically you looked, the more evidence there seemed to be that there would be a new game. And once AI pages figured out there was something to announce that would get them clicks, you better believe they posted it over and over again. For many beforehand, and everyone after the fact, it was obvious that Bethesda wasn't going to use Amazon to launch their own game, but here's why you're missing the point and why you should still be mad at Bethesda over this. So let's talk about what a shadow drop is. Basically, you put something out without any marketing or lead time at all. It's obvious why this would be ideal if it worked. By some estimates, for something like a movie, the cost to develop a movie is only half the cost. So if a movie costs $200 million to make, you should expect to pay another $200 million just on marketing. So if you could shadow drop something, meaning you just drop it outside, and it somehow worked, you would save half your budget. The question is, does the difference in sales make up for the marketing cost? Traditionally, the answer is yes, but for Bethesda, this might just not be the case. Consider Bethesda's recent run of games. Bethesda first shadow dropped Fallout Shelter when they announced Fallout 4, and just for the record, it made $5 million in 2 weeks. Lots of people pointed out that this was an enigma because people weren't buying Fallout Shelter, they were buying the decades of goodwill that Bethesda had built up. If it had been a nameless, faceless game that had the same mechanics, nobody would have bought it, and it certainly wouldn't have made $5 million in 2 weeks. Then Bethesda shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush, which they didn't even make, and without any marketing at all, it did better than Forspoken, a game that came out around the same time. Then, of course, we have Oblivion Remastered, which outsold the original Oblivion in like a month, and once again cost nothing to market. So now, here we are. Amazon puts out a countdown on their page for the Fallout show. It has nothing to do with any Fallout game, or really anything other than something that we're used to with the Fallout show. This page obviously wasn't going to be for anything other than the show. Bethesda is a publisher. They don't need a website for announcements. They have their own. It was obvious, right? Except Bethesda has set themselves up for this. I literally argued with a buddy of mine the entire several weeks leading up to this about the countdown. And any time I told him it just couldn't be a game because it didn't make sense, he just said, "What about Oblivion?" And he was right. Bethesda has gotten so used to no-cost marketing, they haven't stopped to think about the long-term cost. Remember their first shadow drop, okay? Fallout Shelter. It didn't make $300,000 per day because it was anything special. It made $300,000 per day because people love Bethesda. And now, after years of bad releases, and taking advantage of the fans' goodwill, they're failing to keep the schizophrenic idealistic expectations of their fans. But those expectations are the ones that made them. And if they keep failing to meet them, they're going to be in a predicament of their own making. Telling their fans to not be disappointed because Bethesda never promised them anything is true, technically. But how long before those fans stop being excited? How long before they stop looking for signs in a TV show? And yeah, how long after that before they don't even bother to look into the new games? Bethesda wants to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be a renowned game developer and publisher and not publish anything. I'm already jaded. When this came up, I knew it wasn't going to be a game, because I know Bethesda doesn't make games. We got one less than a year ago. There's no way we're getting one anytime soon, even if it is a remaster made by someone who isn't Bethesda. But that's just it. Is that really a good thing? So I was right. They aren't making a game. What am I supposed to celebrate? Yeah, I don't know how many more of these it'll take before people aren't excited, before there isn't any purpose in AI posts, because they don't generate clicks anyway, because no one is excited about Bethesda. And this is like one of many signs that we've had over the past few years that Bethesda just doesn't care about what their fans want. They have the money. They have the cash cows. Several of them. So Todd wants to make a space game. And he did. So Todd thinks we can just remaster Oblivion. And they did. They're just printing money. They don't need us anymore. And that's what you should realize about the Amazon Countdown. So, I hope you liked this content. I don't know. I hope you didn't get your hopes too high, and I hope they weren't dashed on release, but yeah, I think you really should lower your expectations when it comes to Bethesda. But anyways, if you like Fallout, I make a new Fallout video every week. I plan on posting one about the show tomorrow. So stay tuned, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you around.